Steve, over the past decade, sustainability has moved from a niche position to dominating the built environment discourse. Yet in new home construction, sustainability seems to be far less holistic and still more within the realm of add-ons and upgrades, often adding cost to the home. KieranTimberlake designed a house for the Make It Right Foundation in New Orleans that was affordable by virtue of being constructed of sustainable materials, largely fabricated off-site, and designed to minimize energy usage. Looking to the future, will sustainability become more intrinsically incorporated into housing design, materials, construction, and operation?
Oh, it has to. It has to. And it is a movement that really, in the last dozen years, has come, as you noted, from very much a niche market to a dominating force in the marketplace. The logic behind it is so compelling that for those that don't get out ahead of it, they won't be in existence probably in another decade. It's that dramatic and fast a shift. And there are a lot of reasons behind it. One is certainly just money, literally. If you can save money on energy and save money on water, save money on maintenance and upkeep, all of those add up to a huge portion of the cost of owning a building, not just the first cost, but more the operating cost over time. And that's ultimately more significant than the first cost. And that's an important part of the impetus for the environmental movement. It's literally just money. And it's a potent one. It's a very potent one. Secondly, there's the regulatory system being put in place, which state by state is moving increasingly in the direction of mandating energy performance. And then thirdly, there's just the marketplace itself, with a younger and younger clientele being educated and brought up in a time when resources for them have never been perceived as unlimited and have been always presented as something that one needs to be ethically responsible for and be a good steward of. For those manufacturers of building products, for those constructors and builders, and for those designers who really understand how to integrate to optimize performance of a building, they're going to be in a really enormously enhanced market position compared to those who don't follow. So there's probably been no single movement I can think of in my career, or that I know of even really in the last century, that's kind of swept the marketplace the way sustainability has. And it's a wonderful thing to see, but its time has come, and for those that aren't attentive to it, literally, they're not going to be around.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you mentioned that some of the companies that, if they're not ahead of it, aren't going to be around. What would a company really need to do to lead in this area? And do you expect the leadership to come from the traditional home building industry or from some other sector?
It's not begun with the traditional home building industry. It's really come more from architects who typically don't design but a rather small percentage of the traditional home building market. So I don't know that the leadership early on is coming out of the traditional home building industry. I would think that over time, though, that leadership could well shift into that industry. There's immense opportunity to really make some headway because of the volume of the traditional home building industry. You're going to see houses that are more operable, more capable of being open to the outside in shoulder seasons, and capable of managing their environmental energy loads and other loads down. And that we'll see more and more of that going ahead. One interesting point in this is that some of the leadership on that side of the equation for less expensive, highly replicated mass production of housing may come from overseas. There's already a lot of high-performing environmental dwellings that are mass fabricated overseas, and we've been working for some years now on mass customized high performance, environmental performance housing for India and for emerging marketplaces like that, where they have to build enormous amounts of housing very quickly, and they don't have the utility infrastructures in place to support all this new housing. So there's a huge premium in a place like that on dwellings that are almost self-sustaining from an energy perspective, from a water management perspective, and we're going to see more and more of that at large scale, and at scales and quantities that could really start to lower cost dramatically overseas in the years ahead in developing markets. And that could make its way back to the United States from there.
So, Steve, you anticipated my next question, which is really how we would expect people to approach sustainability and engage their homes differently than they do today with a new, more integrated home. For instance, will there be more reliance on sunlight and natural air circulation versus mechanical HVAC systems, and more flexible boundaries between indoors and outdoors, and other means of more optimally utilizing energy in the home?
Right now, most homes, most mass-produced homes, have relatively few windows. The window-to-wall ratio is highly skewed toward the wall, and in lots of environments, it can be more optimal to have more windows and less wall, open things more, allow, in temperate climates, for instance, allow for passive use of the outdoors to make your home comfortable, and less on equipment. And that's, certainly on the way, and will have a profound impact on dwellings. And there's a tremendous amount going on in that industry right now in terms of how to make houses more energy efficient without using energy. But I do think that we will all be operating our houses more and opening them up and closing them down more. And I have personally a home that requires that, and have found it to be one of the most pleasant experiences in my life to actually have fresh air in a house and to be attentive throughout the course of the day to what is going on outside, and to be able to listen to and feel and hear it, and in essence adjust your house without the use of any energy other than what nature provides to make it as comfortable as possible. And it not only saves energy, but it's just more pleasant to actually have air moving through your home, across your body, and using more natural ways to make ourselves comfortable. And it does reconnect you to the natural world in ways that we've become increasingly disconnected from, and that are very positive. So it may have a lot of benefits that people aren't even thinking about, that are more along the lines, not so much of just how much you save, but how much better you feel when you're connected to the natural world and to the outdoors.